Hey guys, welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your Fanatics Calling, part of our daily show. I'm your host Khalid Maiden, and this is the show where we talk about all the major talking points in South African cricket. And we also talk about this particular show is the IPL show. So we're going to be talking about the IPL and we're going to basically review the entire season and particularly the final, which has seen Mumbai Indians pick up their fifth championship. You could see in the crowd some of the owners saying they're 555. So we know that they made it very clear that that's the case. So as per usual, you guys can call in if you want to call into the show. The link is in the live chat or it's in the description. Just click the link and you can join the show. So really looking forward to talking to you guys. But you know how we normally do it. We're going to bring Aditya onto the show first and foremost to just give us a quick overview of everything that happened this season. So let's go get to it. How's it, Aditya?
Very good, man. Yeah, exciting IPL season coming to an end, eh?
Yeah, I think some guys will be like, oh, like a Lubabalu, and those guys will say, oh no, they're happy it's over. Let's talk about this particular game because this final for me was quite I would say underwhelming. I was expecting fireworks. I was expecting from both sides to like have a go at each other. I thought it was going to go to a super over maybe or get close or something like that. But it was like this. We had such an exciting season throughout the season. Like everything went down to the wire. Especially the first couple of games were insane.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, this last game, it just felt like, so I didn't know how to really talk about. I don't know how to talk about it, Divya. But Aditya, what is your assessment of it?
Yeah, that happens with finals. Sometimes you have a tournament that's just so exciting, and then you come to the end and you feel like the final didn't live up to the expectation. In this case, I think what happened was that Mumbai, as Sunil Gavaskar and Simon Dole said in commentary, they were head and shoulders above every team in the tournament. They just had the best balance, best form, and they executed, which matters most. I think every team had talent, and on its day could beat any other team. Like if you look at the points table, the teams that didn't make it to the playoffs had 12 points. That means all of them had 6 wins. The team that was positioned number 4 had 14 points. So if any of the tight games that these 6 teams might have won, like one additional game, they would have qualified.
No, it's crazy. You can see the points table over here. It was crazy how close. That's the one thing about this tournament is how close it actually was. It was very close towards the end. I mean, obviously Mumbai kind of were dominant throughout the tournament, but it was very, very close. I think all around, and that was made it so amazing. But I was really hoping that because Delhi Capitals have such a good bowling attack. I mean, we know about Kagiso, but at least they both took wickets in the final. That's incredible. We can obviously see over here where KG ended up with how many wickets he ended up with. 30 wickets he ended up with. Is that updated correctly?
It should be 30 wickets.
Yeah, cool, awesome. So, because I don't know, when I took the screenshot, it might have changed. So you never know these things. But anyway, so from that perspective, I just wanted to say, like, I don't know why they suddenly changed what was working for them with Stoinis, for example. So for me, Marcus Stoinis was batting really well in the middle overs. And then for the final and the last I think 2 games, they played him as an opener, which I think was kind of weird to do it in such a massive game. Because, I mean, he's been so consistent in that particular innings, coming in and taking people out of trouble. Yes, they were lucky that they pulled themselves out of trouble because, I mean, it was like 24 for 3, I think it was at some point. 22 for 3 at some point. And I was like, gee whiz, we're going to need some. And the captains actually stood out. Both captains stood out and both captains put up their hand and put in a half-century performances. Obviously, Rohit Sharma taking one of his opposite number. But it's been quite, as we said already so many times, it's been underwhelming, sorry. But with regards to you, let's talk about the rest of the tournament. Let's talk about some of the highlights again. For some guys that didn't tune into our show, the other day. Let's just give them some insight into that. Um, for you, what impressed you the most? Maybe from an Indian perspective, you can say, and then we can talk about the South African perspective.
Okay, I think if we're talking about players individually, I think it was great to see KL Rahul score 670 runs this season. And we're talking about wickets that weren't exactly conducive to batting. It's in when you bat in India, you have the opportunity to make 700 odd runs. You can make
Yeah,
800. The record is Virat Kohli making 973 in a season, in the 2016 season. So for KL Rahul to bat as consistently as he did at that strike rate was fantastic, including a fantastic 100 against the Royal Challengers Bangalore. So
yeah,
he was the shining light for the Kings 11 Punjab, who lost, I think, 4 of their first 5 games and then launched a stunning comeback to put themselves in contention for the playoffs. But I think they were also a bit unlucky in that first game that went to the super over. They were they were given a short run when it actually wasn't a short run.
hmm,
So I think that came to bite them in the end because they would have won that game otherwise,
yeah,
and they might have qualified for the playoffs. So T20, it's a game of fine margins, and
yeah,
when little things don't go your way, it can have massive repercussions. It
hmm,
was also good to see Delhi do as well as they did. In the first 9 games, they notched 7 wins, which is fantastic. Typically, we've always found Delhi to be an underwhelming sort of team, and it's only since 2018 that they've become a bit better. But again, what happened to them was 7 wins in the first 9 games, and then 1 win in the next 5 games. So I think that's where the tournament sort of dropped off, and the confusion surrounding Prithvi Shaw's position at the top of the order, Dhawan scoring 3 ducks in 5 games, which is why I think Stoinis had to come in and provide some
yeah.
stability. So I think that to answer your question about Delhi, I think that's what happened. That's what sort of um, created problems for them.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think plenty of highlights. Lots to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's also got to do with a little bit of fitness levels as well. The guys losing some energy. You could see some of the shots didn't have the same punch as some of the other shots earlier on in the tournament. But let's bring on our
Yeah.
first caller. Alicia's waiting patiently in the back end, and I really want to hear what she has to say. It's her debut, guys, so be easy on her in the live comments. Welcome to the show. How's it going?
I am fine, thank you. How are you guys doing?
No, we
Very good.
good. We always good when we're doing these type of shows. So, welcome to the show. It's obviously your debut. Let's talk about. I don't know if you watched the final. Did you watch any of it? Did you get to see it?
I got the second innings with Rohit Sharma
Yeah. What for
and his
you?
gem of an innings.
Yeah. What was so amazing for you to watch it as a fan? To see an innings like that.
Well, he's been consistent throughout, so it was like, ah, it's you again, type of thing. I was actually waiting on Hardik Pandya to come in and just whack a few, but then he went out, and I was like, but like you said at the start, it was very underwhelming for
Yeah.
final. Yeah.
Do you think?
But Rohit
Do you
was
think like?
gem.
Yeah, we were talking. I was making a joke. I know you was obviously a South African supporter, but I was like making a joke um, when they almost Rohit Sharma almost got run out. What's the batsman on the other end's
Yeah,
name, Aditya? Uh,
Surya Kumar Yadav.
yeah. So
yeah,
he
yeah,
him what happened was like he basically saved Rohit, but in a way because he
Yeah.
just ran forward
yeah.
and he's like, I was like, if that was South Africa. And Faf was on 99, and we had Shamsi at the other end, or we had one of the bowlers at the other end. I was like, I don't think
Yeah.
they'll do the same thing, think on their feet like that. That was incredible, actually. I thought that was phenomenal the way they did that.
Yeah. And he was the
I
informed
think
batsman.
I think that I think that is credit to the whole team, the team spirit, the team behind the scenes to sacrifice your wicket for. Okay, yes, he was in form, but I mean, Yadav is also in form. But like
Mhm.
like you say, South African cricketers, yeah, not so friendly.
So we got Lubabano in the comments over here saying, "Okay, EP player, we see you." I think that's how you're gonna say it.
How's
Hey?
it going?
Don't. Um, can I ask you a question? Because with regards to T20 cricket, you as a cricketer, of course, you'll know. What sort of things do you pick up from this and learn from this to add into your own game? Like, how do you look at the games and watch it? It's differently to us, basically, as fans.
um, Firstly, as a bowling all-rounder, I tend to watch the bowlers' actions and their stock deliveries, and then I take notes, kind of take notes, like literally with a pen and a paper, be like,
Mhm.
and then I try to incorporate that into my own practices, you know. And with batting, I just look at the new shots because we have to evolve as cricketers. We have to evolve. Look at all these funny 360 AB and the helicopter shot of Dhoni. Although we didn't see much of that, but it's okay,
Mm.
So like I literally just watch what they're doing, what's new, so that I can learn and incorporate that into my practice.
Mhm. And have you been watching any of the women's games? I mean, obviously now they're having the women IPL I'll call it women IPL games as well.
Yeah, the
Um,
Yeah.
women T20.
T20, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible how women's cricket has developed.
It's on the rise. We are on the rise, gents. We are coming for you. We are
Yes.
coming. It's been incredible to watch. Like I was also following the Women's Big Bash League.
Mhm.
Um, Elise Perry is someone that I really take to. Like
Yeah.
I'm always keen to watch her and like just the way she goes about the game. So I've been following her also in the Women's Big Bash, and then another one is Smriti Mandana in
Yeah.
the Women's T20. Oh yeah, she's a gem. I could watch her all day. The way she goes about her shots and just her coolness as a cricketer. It's been some good stuff. Some
Yeah.
really good stuff.
Um, I mean, you're talking about the Women's Big Bash League. I think Abai is going to be covering it as well. He's going to be doing some raps at certain points. But what's awesome about it is like we get to see someone like Marazan Kap. Now, one of my favorite players is Marazan and Dane, or both of them kind of. They're both my favorite players, really. And obviously, I'm a big fan of Lord of Wolfart as well. But I think Marazan Cup doesn't get the full, I think enough airtime in because I mean she's so brilliant. Attitude,
Yeah.
work ethic, like everything about her is classy. And I really like watching the highlights. I didn't get to watch the game, but at least got to watch the highlights of her half century to score the other day. It was superb, and the way she bowls
Yeah.
consistently well. I mean, is it amazing for you right now to be able to look up to, because when I was talking to younger generation cricketers, they now have women's cricketers to look up to. When back before, when Claire was, for example, from the Western Province, she was speaking, she's
Yeah.
like there was nobody for them to look up to. They were like the trendsetters basically. How amazing it is women's cricket for you right now, like to be able to have so many heroes to look up to.
It's like you said, we didn't, even me, I like, even though I'm young, but like growing up, we always looked at Jonty Rhodes and Herschel Gibbs and all those people. But like Marizan and Dana is also two of my favorites.
Mhm.
And just seeing how they go about the game, also just the way they are on and off the field, and of course the fact that they come from the Eastern Province. So it's big shoes to fill if we want to fill it. But
Yeah.
it's really amazing to see how they go about, and really their work ethic is undeniable,
Yeah.
honestly.
Sorry, I just
Like,
had to take advantage of having you here and getting some insights from you. Aditya, I mean, we're listening
Yeah.
to this now, right? Like, let's talk a little bit more about this, the IPL, this tournament. Like, for me, I think the take out for me was completely Andy Nokia in my eyes because I wanted to see what he can do from a bowling perspective. When I spoke to him earlier on in the year during lockdown, he told me that he was working on a couple of variations, etc. So I was like excited to see what he was talking about, but he really showed it in this particular IPL. I mean, that's the one thing that you can really learn from T20 cricket is the fact that you can
Yeah.
get test these things because you are so much under pressure. So from a South African point of view, let's talk about South African point of view right now. What is the most inspiring thing for you, for the both of you? Let's start with Aditya and then Nisha. What's the most inspiring thing from a South African point of view from this IPL campaign?
Okay. Um, let's start with the bowling first. And since you talk about Unrick, if you saw the ball that dismissed Rohit Sharma, that was a proper slow ball bouncer. That was amazing to watch. Although it got Rohit out, and it's a bit sad that he couldn't finish it off. But um, that was a phenomenal ball. But we've been like over the last couple of weeks, we've been talking a lot about the World Cup and why, what should team selection be like and things like that. I think if we look historically, you look at Proteas bowling. I think it's always revolved around the fact that Proteas bowlers have done well because they've been consistent in their lines and lengths. And in limited overs cricket, now we're discovering that the key to success is not being that consistent in line and length. It's more about sort of chopping and changing a bit and being less predictable. And I think KG and Andrik belong to that first generation of South African bowlers who are able to sort of change their lengths at will. And we look at Vernon Philander, for example. He's absolutely brilliant. Metronome. He could land the ball at the same place day in and day out. But does that really work for you in limited overs cricket? Does that really work for you in World Cups? It doesn't. So I think what we're seeing here with KG and Andrik is a lot of hope that now they've been in high pressure tournaments. They've played 16 high pressure games, and they've sort of, sure, they've lost this final, but they're going to take a hell of a lot out of this experience. And the next time they play a final for the Proteas or for their franchise teams, they're going to have a lot of lessons, one, to implement themselves and to share with others. From a batting point of view, I think AB de Villiers, Faf du Plessis, fantastic. Quinton de Kock also, I think today the way he took KG Rabada for 18 runs off his first over really threw him off his tracks. And it's a wonderful lesson for KG. I think that's not going to happen the next time around. 6 months later in the IPL, that's definitely not going to happen. We know that because KG is a quick learner. But I think what's impressed me most is the fact that we now have South African bowlers who can be the metronome sort of bowlers that South Africa has produced over the years. But they also have the ability to sort of be unpredictable, change their lines and lengths, and adapt to the situation. Something that we haven't seen a whole lot in the past.
Yeah. Yeah, well, he touched on that, Alicia. Well, from your perspective, from a South African point of view, are you really excited about the way they performed this tournament?
Okay, KG, we know he's been brilliant since he made a name for himself. But for me personally, Anna, Nokia, he really made a name for himself in the IPL. He really just he had a goal and he had a plan, and he 90% of the time he executed his plans, and I think it attributes to the fact that he understands that the game of cricket is evolving, and he's evolving with it. And like Aditya says, it's being able to adjust. It's not just line and length anymore. It's wide yorkers. It's in swingers. It's everything, a bit of everything, and you have to execute it perfectly to get under the batsman's skin. And I think
For
Anna
me,
did that.
yeah, he definitely did. That was amazing. For me personally, I would say Faf du Plessis. I think he sparked a lot of belief back into the Proteas fans to say, like, look here, he should be the one of the first names on the team sheet, because I think people's kind of after the World Cup, especially in limited overs, people kind of lost faith in Faf in a weird way, even though he was our top scorer in the World Cup, which is the weirdest thing for me, because I mean, he wasn't he didn't bat so poorly with regards to limited overs cricket, and he's been. This particular IPL campaign just showed in a team that was struggling, he really dominated, and he was able to move to opener to bat three. He's versatile. That was amazing that I could see that from him. And what I loved about it was the bravery that he showed. He wasn't scared to express himself. And I think that he needs to bring over into the England series. And I think when we looked at the England series squad and the squad that they put together, it seems like for the T20 games, they're probably going to look at the more experienced side than look at anybody else. But thanks a lot, Lisha, for coming on the show. I really appreciated your comments, and we will see you again very, very soon. I'm glad that you obviously broke the ice now, and now you can come on more shows. So thanks a lot for tuning in. Aditya, let's just round it up. What are you hoping for the next campaign?
See, I think we need a little more clarity about where the IPL is going to be held. But this time, for example, one thing that I think every team has struggled with is assessing conditions. On some days there's going to be dew, other days there's not going to be dew. So it's very hard for teams to get a sense of what they should do at the toss if they win. But I guess one of the key lessons for all teams that it's important to have all bases covered. The reason Mumbai succeeded is because they had a powerhouse batting lineup. They had successful spinners. Jayant Yadav, I think he's playing a second game this IPL, and he took out their main batsman, Shikhar Dhawan.
Mm-hmm.
So they had excellent spinners, and they had a fantastic bowling lineup. So, and Chris Lynn didn't even get a game this season. So that tells you how strong Mumbai's bench press is, as did Mitchell McClenaghan.
Yeah.
So I guess it's going forward, it's important for teams to be well-rounded, to have all their bases covered, and just make sure that they're ready for all conditions. Coming back next year, I think Chennai is going to be a force to reckon with. They're not going to take this early elimination well. I think RCB is going to plug a few holes. Mike Hesson made that pretty clear at the end of the campaign, and I'm sure every team is going to come back with a bang. But again, I expect another IPL that's as competitive as this one.
Yeah. For me personally, from a South African perspective, I would just want to see more younger South Africans get an opportunity now.
Yes.
Obviously, with the guys like Dale Steyn now moving on, and Chris Morris and AB probably also soon moving on. I don't know if he's going to move on with the IPL, but with regards to guys getting the next generation superstars in, the Yanaman Malans, those guys, get them in here.
Yeah.
That's going to be awesome from our perspective. Let's get into some of the comments. Okay, let's say Vernie Rasmus says a bit underwhelming final, but such has the dominance been of Mumbai Indian. I told me that this wasn't much of a surprise, the victory. Janine October saying, I think they all just wanted to be done already. Reginald says, Aditya, thank you for all the great feedback you give during this IPL. Really enjoyed and appreciated. You're going to see him a lot more. He's not going to just be talking about IPL. He's going to become a Protea fan. He's going to become a Protea fan, this guy.
I am, that.
Okay, Vernon Rasmus again. Rabada has the most wickets in the tournament, but his second half of the tournament has been very up and down. He has either picked up a lot of wickets and being economical, or he has gone for many runs. And I think that's the nature of T20 cricket. I mean, it's so difficult to keep consistency over a long period of time.
That's T20 cricket, and that's also the nature of the IPL, because you do well for 4, 5, 6 games, but then teams start to figure you out. See, we don't realize that there's like a behind the scene apparatus that is studying each and every ball, each and every movement of these players, which is why oftentimes you find that players do well in the first half of the tournament, and then they start to sort of tail off towards the second half, towards the end. That's what we saw with Prithvi Shaw as well. Prithvi Shaw is suddenly losing confidence after a great first 7 games. It's because, he's been found out a little bit. And the same happened with KG and Andrik as well. So, yeah, it's understandable.
Awesome. So here's a lot from Abai. Okay, there's one. But he's not on the show tonight. But Andrik's become quite a dangerous customer in a short space of time. Very, very true.
Yeah.
He says spot on about Faf opening could be an interesting choice. Let's go to some more. He has Sinitembe Koshile, and I remember getting the click correct on the show. Yeah, I don't know about Sinitembe Koshile personally. In the T20 format, I know he's gotten his debut in the T20 format, but I remember seeing Sinitemba in
Long
time
form.
cricket in Kaya Majola week.
Yeah.
That's when I saw him like really at his element. I think he's a better longer format cricketer personally. Yeah, I think he's a type of batsman that needs to take his time at the crease and really and that's where he like excels. He's a very tough customer to crack open, and I think
Yeah.
um it was a pity that they gave him T20 cricket first up. I thought that they'd maybe, you see, when I spoke to Shukri Conrad, and something that he told me that really changed my mindset and the way I think about cricket was when I asked him about how are they going to get the youngsters ready for longer format cricket, because the school cricketers don't necessarily play the longest format at a young age. A lot of them are playing the shorter formats of the game. They only really get to play the longer formats when they're playing time cricket for Kaya Majola week. So the opportunities for them to think about long, staying long at the crease, spending time at the crease, they don't really pick those skills up. So I asked him, and he said there is actually not much of a massive difference with regards to teaching the skill levels of occupying the crease between 50
Yeah.
over and test cricket. He said for the longer formats, he said you can still hold the innings, you can still play take your time at the crease and learn those hours, to have hours at the crease. There's still enough overs for you to be able to do that in the 50 over games. So I was like, okay, that changes my mind a little bit on things, because especially the opening batters, guys like Matthew Brzezinski and the guys like Reina van Tondo who come at number 3, those type of guys will be able to still get that type of learnings and teachings with regards to that. I would like to obviously see more tests played by the under 19 level. Oh yes, and how about Grant Rulofsson? Grant Rulofsson is a good shot, but the guys like Vian Libber, guys like Marco Murray, guys like I must rattle them all off of my head now. Think of some bowlers, maybe Lutus Pamela, guys like that. I want to see them get an opportunity. Obviously, playing IPL cricket. I don't know. It's something that we're gonna have to see what happens. But finally, Aditya, this final words before we say goodbye to the fans and to everybody out there.
Yeah, from a Proteas point of view, I think the next season of the IPL, I'd like to see Aiden Markram, Rasi van der Dusen, Andile Peklukwayo. And one thing that Faf has talked about quite regularly over the last couple of months is that teams have become smarter with their auctions. You know, in their auctions, they're now looking for specific skill sets, specific roles, and this IPL has shown that you look at the top 5 highest run scorers. You look at the wicket takers. They're all successful. They're all successful Test cricketers, or they all have very good one-day records. You know, and the idea is that if cricketers are able to adapt, if they're versatile, I think they're more likely to be successful. And I think maybe Proteas cricketers going forward should be sort of approaching cricket with that mindset.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. Keep an eye out for Aditya's rap. I'm not rap, but it's more like an analysis of the tournament. We're coming out tomorrow, you said, eh?
Yeah.
So keep an eye out for that, guys. It will give you a nice understanding. And if you like his commentary on here, you're gonna love that article. So, guys, check that out on cricketfanaticsmag.com. Don't forget to go there for all updates. We also have the 4-day wrap, etc., that we've done over there as well. We're really trying to push out the best content that we can provide for you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, click the notification bell for all future videos. Don't forget to download the latest issue of the magazine. Links on the screen and in the description. We're going to be bringing some awesome exclusive content for the next issue. So I hope you guys really tune in for that. If you want any inquiries and you want to talk to us or anything, you send us an email. There's our email address on the screen as well. If you are a business and you're looking to automate your sales processes and you're trying to build sales funnels to get more customers, etc., and build relationships, the link is in the screen. We can help you do that. The link is in the description down below. Thanks so much, guys, for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in and supporting us every single day when we're doing these shows. I hope you guys enjoying the content. Let us know. Give us feedback. Let us know what you would like to hear. Check you guys again soon, and we'll speak to you guys very, very soon. Take care, everyone.
Cheers.